God says He can't hide anymore. God is pulling back the curtain, and the truth that has been trembling behind the scenes is finally stepping into the light. For so long, you felt confusion where there should have been clarity, silence where there should have been answers, shadows where there should have been certainty. But God says He's done allowing you to doubt what your spirit already sensed. You've waited long enough. You've cried long enough. You've questioned yourself long enough. And now, heaven has decided it's time for revelation to stand where secrecy used to live. When God decides something is finished, it ends. When God decides something must be seen, no darkness, no lie, no person, and no delay can stop it from being revealed. There were moments when you thought you were imagining things, the inconsistencies, the mixed signals, the sudden distance, the strange patterns that kept repeating like a whisper you couldn't quite catch. There were times your heart felt like it was speaking louder than his actions, and you wondered why your intuition felt so alive while his words felt so empty. But God was watching every moment, listening to every hidden conversation, observing every motive behind every smile, every promise, every silence that left you awake at night. And now God is saying, enough. I will not let you walk blind anymore. I will not let you stay tied to confusion. I will not let what is meant for you be delayed by what is not aligned with you. The curtain is coming down on the act that has been playing in front of you, an act of pretense, of half-truths, of selective honesty. There is something He did not want you to see, but God is making it visible. There is something He thought He could manage in the background while keeping you in the foreground, but God is breaking the illusion. God is not exposing Him to hurt you, He is exposing Him to free you. Because sometimes your heart can be too loyal to walk away on its own, too forgiving to notice the danger, too patient to recognize the pattern. And that is why God steps in, not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. You are protected. You are not meant to be played with while calling it love. You are not meant to be misled while praying for clarity. You are not meant to be confused while carrying a soul that deserves truth. He tried to hide, but God is revealing. He tried to delay the truth, but God is accelerating it. He tried to manage the situation on His terms, but heaven has overturned the plan. God is showing you everything, not to punish Him, but to awaken you. Because God knows your heart. He knows how deeply you love, how fully you give, how sincerely you trust. He knows you would have given your whole soul to someone who was only offering pieces of theirs. You were ready for loyalty. He was ready for convenience. You were building a future. He was buying time. But God doesn't allow His chosen ones to settle for temporary people. God doesn't allow His daughters or sons to tie their destiny to someone who has secret doors behind secret doors. God doesn't let someone He handcrafted for greatness become stuck in a loop of emotional confusion. So now, the curtain is lifting slowly, deliberately, piece by piece. Not to shock you, but to prepare you. Not to break you, but to steady you. Not to overwhelm you, but to show you what you deserve compared to what you were accepting. You are not difficult. You are not asking for too much. You were simply asking the wrong person. And God is making that undeniably clear. There were signs you ignored because your heart hoped the story would improve. There were moments you excused because you believed people could change. And yes, people can change, but not when they believe they can hide forever. Not when they believe their intentions will never surface. Not when they think they can give you half effort while receiving your whole heart. God is showing you that this was never about your worth, it was always about His fear, His indecision, His inability to face what love truly demands. Love requires truth. Love requires showing up. Love requires courage. And God is showing you whether He ever had those qualities or whether He only wanted the comfort of your presence without the responsibility of commitment. God is pulling back the curtain because He doesn't want you living in an illusion. He doesn't want you believing in words that were never backed by action. He doesn't want you clinging to potential while suffering in reality. You deserve clarity. You deserve truth. You deserve someone who is honest even when the truth is inconvenient. You deserve someone who chooses you not only when you're near, but also when no one is watching. You deserve someone whose intentions don't shift with the seasons. God saw what you didn't see, and now He's opening your eyes to what He already knew. There is a divine purpose behind this revealing. God is not just exposing what's wrong, He's preparing you for what's right. He's not just ending something, He's aligning you with something greater. There is someone out there whose heart is being prepared for you, someone who won't hide, who won't run, who won't confuse you, who won't treat your soul like an option while expecting you to stay like a promise. But you couldn't receive what God has for you until you let go of what was blocking your vision. And this revelation is your release. This truth is your doorway. This unveiling is the moment heaven says, "Walk forward, you're done looking back." The curtain is coming down not only on Him, but on every lie you believed about yourself in the process. You thought you weren't enough. You thought you had to prove your worth. You thought you needed to earn love that should have been given freely. God is removing those lies too. He is reminding you who you are, chosen, valuable, irreplaceable, protected, guided. That is why God waited until now. Not a second too early, not a second too late. He waited until your spirit was ready to see without breaking, to understand without collapsing, to walk away without doubting yourself. He can't hide anymore because God has decided the truth belongs to you now. Every secret is coming out. Every motive is being exposed. Every hidden detail is surfacing. Not because God wants to create chaos, but because He wants to create clarity. And clarity is the beginning of freedom. You are stepping into a season where nothing confusing will survive. Nothing half-hearted will attach to you. Nothing disguised will enter your life. God is surrounding you with truth, with real love, with divine alignment. And even though it hurts to see what's being revealed, it is the beginning of your restoration. It is the beginning of your elevation. It is the beginning of the story God wanted you to live, the story you couldn't reach while tied to someone who was hiding behind a curtain. And soon, you will look back and realize this revelation was not the ending you feared, it was the rescue you needed. You will understand why God intervened. You will understand why the truth had to come now. You will understand why God pulled back the curtain, not to expose Him, but to set you free. You may not realize it yet, but this moment, this pulling back of the curtain, is one of the most powerful shifts of your entire life. It feels heavy because revelations always carry weight, but weight is what strengthens you. Weight is what shapes you. Weight is what confirms that something real is happening in your spirit. God doesn't reveal truth to destroy your heart, He reveals truth to rebuild your destiny. What is unfolding now is not loss, it is alignment. There were nights you prayed for God to show you what was really going on, even if you didn't say the words out loud. Your soul whispered, "God, if this is not for me, show me. If this is not real, reveal it. If this is not love, remove it." And you may have forgotten those prayers, but God never does. He held them in the center of His hands, waiting for the appointed time to answer them. And that time is now. God waited because He wanted your heart to be strong enough to process the truth without falling apart. He waited until you learned how to listen to your intuition, because that intuition was the very voice He placed within you. He waited until you grew enough internally that you would not return to what once drained you. He waited until He knew revealing the truth would move you forward, not keep you stuck in a cycle of what if and maybe. God wanted you ready. And now you are. What's happening now is not an emotional moment, it is a spiritual awakening. You are seeing clearly, maybe for the first time in a long time. The fog you lived through, the fog of mixed signals, excuses, vanishing acts, incomplete answers, emotional distance wrapped in sweet words, that fog is evaporating. You didn't imagine the inconsistency. You didn't invent the uncertainty. You weren't too sensitive. You weren't overthinking. You weren't too much. God is confirming what your heart felt all along. There was something hidden, something off, something that did not align with who you are or who you are becoming. And because God loves you too much to let you settle for confusion, He stepped in. The thing about truth is that once God reveals it, you cannot unsee it. You can't go back to pretending everything was okay. You can't shrink yourself again to fit into a space that was never built for your soul. You can't keep giving loyalty to someone who only gave you fragments. You can't keep offering love where there was no honesty. That season is over. That version of you, the version that tolerated hiddenness, is gone. God is not just pulling back the curtain on Him, He's pulling it back on you, the real you. The you that forgot your own worth. The you that silenced your intuition to protect His comfort. The you that apologized for wounds you didn't cause. The you that stayed loyal to someone who wasn't loyal to their own truth. You didn't lose anything in this revelation, you regained yourself. And that is the most important part of this entire divine moment. You are returning to you. God is placing you back into the center of your own life because you drifted for too long. You poured so much into someone who was never built to hold the depth of your love. You gave them access to your heart that they did not earn, yet you kept hoping they would grow into the person you believed they could be. But God is showing you that potential does not equal purpose. A connection does not equal covenant. Attraction does not equal alignment. And someone loving the idea of you is not the same as someone being ready for the reality of you. He liked what you brought into His world, the peace, the understanding, the hope, the emotional safety. But He wasn't ready to become the man who could match what you carried. And instead of admitting that, he hid. Instead of being honest, he held back. Instead of opening his heart, he opened loopholes. But you deserve someone who doesn't just receive your light, you deserve someone whose own light rises to meet yours. So God is letting you see the truth so you don't waste another second hoping someone will grow into the position God never assigned them. And even though the revealing hurts, it is breaking chains in your spirit. It is severing soul ties you didn't even realize were draining you. It is releasing you from emotional confusion you thought you had to endure. God is removing you from a waiting room you were never meant to sit in. You were waiting for clarity, but clarity was waiting for you to let go. This is where everything begins to shift. You are not stepping into emptiness, you are stepping into freedom. You are not losing someone, you are gaining sight. You are not being abandoned, you are being redirected. God is not leaving you alone, He is clearing the path for someone who will not hide, who will not lie, who will not fear your depth, who will not fumble your heart. Someone is being prepared who will meet you exactly where you are, not where they wish they were. Someone who will understand the weight of your love and not run from it. Someone who will stand beside you because they are ready, not because they are lonely. Someone who will show you that you were never asking for too much, you were asking the wrong person. But before that arrives, this truth has to settle. This curtain has to fall. This chapter has to close. And God is walking you through it gently, firmly, purposefully. Nothing revealed is meant to crush you, it is meant to free you. This is the moment where everything begins to make sense, even the parts that once felt unbearable. The truth has stepped into the light, the curtain has been pulled back, and now the air around you is shifting. The weight that sat on your chest for so long is lifting, piece by piece, because the deception that kept you tied has finally lost its power. God is not just revealing what was hidden, He is restoring what was stolen from your spirit, your peace, your clarity, your strength, your confidence, your ability to trust yourself again. For so long, you felt like you were walking through a hallway with doors that never fully opened. Every time you reached for clarity, the answer slipped away. Every time you reached for something real, the moment blurred. You kept trying to understand him when he didn't even understand himself. You kept trying to hold on to someone who didn't have the courage to hold on to you. You kept trying to fix what wasn't broken, but simply never belonged to you. And now, with everything revealed, you realize that God was never punishing you. He was protecting you. Protecting you from entering a future with someone who wasn't built for your heart. Protecting you from investing your soul into a story that had no foundation. Protecting you from confusing attachment with destiny. Protecting you from thinking that love should feel complicated, unsteady, or hidden. The truth is this: what you wanted from him was never too much. It was simply too much for someone who wasn't ready to be honest with himself, let alone with you. He wanted your presence without responsibility. Your loyalty without reciprocation. Your depth without matching it. Your faith in him without courage in himself. And God could not allow you to shrink your soul just to fit into the smallness of someone else's fear. The exposure you are experiencing now is not humiliation, it is liberation. It is God placing your heart back into your own hands. It is heaven saying, no more confusion. No more waiting. No more hoping for something that will never be. You are stepping into a clean slate, a fresh atmosphere, a space where truth is the only language allowed. And here is the beauty of God's timing. As this chapter ends, it creates the opening for something far greater to begin. God never removes without replacing. Never reveals without healing. Never closes a door without preparing a better one. The person who is meant for you will not hide. They will not hesitate. They will not keep parts of their life in the shadows. They will show up fully, consistently, intentionally. They will match your effort. They will honor your heart. They will understand your depth instead of being intimidated by it. They will see your value without needing reminders. They will not play with what God has blessed them with. But before that love arrives, God is doing something even more important. He is rebuilding you. He is rebuilding the trust you lost in yourself. Rebuilding the confidence you gave away. Rebuilding your ability to listen to your intuition without doubting it. Rebuilding the strength in your spirit that was weakened by waiting, wondering, and worrying. Rebuilding the version of you that existed before confusion wrapped itself around your heart. And you will feel it soon, the shift, the clarity, the peace that comes after the storm. The sudden realization that you are no longer asking why it didn't work, but thanking God that it didn't. The slow, beautiful return of your power. The way your heart will breathe again. The way your mind will settle. The way your future will start to glow with a warmth you haven't felt in a long time. You will look back and understand that the exposure was never meant to break you. It was meant to break the illusion. Because what is ahead of you requires a level of freedom that the past could never give. You are stepping into a season where God refuses to let you tolerate half love, half effort, half truths. He is placing you in spaces where your heart is understood, not taken advantage of. Where your softness is valued, not exploited. Where your love is matched, not drained. Where your presence is honored, not hidden. This revelation, painful as it is also holy. It is God lifting you out of a story that was too small for who you are becoming. It is Him choosing to defend your heart even when you were willing to settle. It is Him saying, "You deserve the truth, and you deserve better." And soon, sooner than you think, you will see why God had to pull back the curtain. You will see why He allowed the truth to rise. You will see why waiting any longer would have delayed your destiny. You will see why He could not allow your future to be tied to a person who lived in shadows. You will understand. You will heal. You will rise. And you will love again, but this time, with someone who can actually love you back. This is not the end. This is the beginning. And God is walking you into it with a steady, unwavering hand. You are free now. You are protected. You are chosen. And the truth that hurt you for a moment is the same truth that will save you for a lifetime.